Dear students, today I am taking another new subject from the marketing management, and that is buying decision process. How a customer or a consumer makes the decision to buy a product. It's very important and everybody does. So here we are theoretically going to study, but practically everybody does what they want, they think about and go in search, then they evaluate price, quality, all those things, compare, then at the end they make a decision to buy, and after buying also they have some evaluation, that's all. So but we have put it in a systematic way. Actually everybody has this experience of buying process, because whether it is a small thing or a big thing, buying a car or a big vehicles, and from there buying a small pen and pencil, everything has the similar elements. So let's see what is the process in the buying decision. So consumer decision making process, what are the stages are they? So consumer decision making process, also called as a buying process, explains how consumer takes a purchase decisions. So it represents a problem solving approach followed by consumer and consists of five steps. So I have said always process means there are various steps, and in the process always steps one after the another. So in the process here there are five steps. First one is recognition of need. So here I'll just read out these steps, but in the next slides I will be explaining each one. So recognition of need. Second is search for information. Third one is evaluation of alternatives. And the fourth one is purchase decision. And final is post purchase evaluation. So these are involved in a small or a big item, whichever you are buying. So this process it's going on in your mind and in the actual life and reality. So we'll go one after the another. Step one is recognition of need. To buy anything, what you require very important is need. If there is no need, nobody will buy anything. So need is the basic requirement for the buying of any material. Buying process starts when a need is felt for a product due to internal or external stimulus. So something is urging. It may be internally or it may be externally. So in a house, child says we must have a AC. So what happened is externally, wife or the child says to buy a AC. So internally you may be having that you feel that I am going in a two wheeler and it doesn't make me comfortable rainy season, and to my position I'm a big CEO. Automatically you feel like it's a internal, nobody has said to you, but internally you feel I must buy a car, four wheeler. So this you see internal or external stimulus, but need arises that you require. Need is recognized when consumer faces some problem or when desire for something triggers a latent or a hidden need. Sometimes a need may be hidden, sometimes it may come because of some problem. Now you see, you are transferred from one nearby place to a far place. So now what happened is it's a problem traveling to far place. So you purchased a vehicle. Otherwise you didn't require a vehicle earlier. So or something triggers within you, triggers, see, you are promoted, now you are in your promoted, your salary has increased, so you feel like buying a four wheeler. So that way recognized needs some become wants. So need itself is not a cause for the purchase, but need has to turn into wants. I want it. Yes, needs are there, but needs doesn't become a wants unless he desires to purchase. So here one step ahead, it is going from the need to the want. Consumer tries to fulfill the most pressing wants first due to his limited purchasing power. Yes, all everybody has wants. So even a beggar may be having a want for something, but he will not will not buy, because he will look at it as resources. So depends on the resources. That's a purchasing power, how much he has. On that basis, the first and the dire need is that will be fulfilled first, then later on one after the another. Advertising, packaging, product design, store locations, window displays are external stimuli that trigger need recognition in consumer. So sometimes what happened is actually you never thought of buying a particular thing, but you saw in a TV. Oh, I must buy it. That way it triggers. So sometimes what happens is a product design. So a particular product will help you in such a way that it will be very beneficial if you buy. Actually, you are not buying, but now they have presented in such a way that product is designed for a usefulness of many your day-to-day activities. So that way. Store locations, if it was far, you wouldn't have purchased at all. Oh, store location is here only. Or your relative has put a store, let me buy. So I remember, so I purchased it's a insurance item. So I wouldn't have made any insurance policy, but my relative is a agent, so he was pestering me again and again. For his reason I made a insurance, you see. This is how it happens. So it is all external stimulus which triggers a person to purchase something. Promotion mix not only triggers actual needs and desires of consumers but also offers selling points in the buying processes. So promotion mix means all these advertising, packaging, product design and all. They are all promoting the needs in a person, triggers actual needs and desires of consumers. So but also offers selling points in the buying process. So they make that they will sell the item to the consumers. So this is a first step, recognition of a need. So we have a second step, information search. So before buying anything today, people will search for information. Usually only for purchasing the vegetables and all, they don't search information just to see whether the quality is good or not, fresh or not. So for rest of the things, whichever they buy, they will go for information. And in search of information when they go, usually for durable goods, that goods which are coming for a long time, so or some goods are for used for lifetime, such goods and all, they go for more information search. The final decision to buy a product is not made at once, even though consumers recognize their problem and pay attention to the available products. The consumers identify all the available options that can solve their problem or fulfill their need. They then gather all the information about the selected options and eventually judge which of the available options is most likely to deliver the desired outcome. Today, consumers are exposed to vast amount of information. It is becoming increasingly difficult for marketers to get through the customer's filter. The chances of being overlooked by the customers are too high because a large amount of information is competing in the marketplace. So what happens is the suddenly a person has a want, he will not go for buying a product. Usually you may be knowing, now to purchase a house or a flat or to purchase a land, people will take a long time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, collecting the money or the seeing every way. So all those things are there. The different sources of information available to a consumer are as follows, from where all you can gather the information. So first one is personal, family, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, whomsoever he knows. So from them he can ask, family members he can ask. Before buying, he will ask which is better. So with the friends, usually they will when they are buying a, now you take example mobile, which mobile to buy is better. You will ask with others. So that way you will consult the friends. Sometimes with the neighbors, sometimes with the acquaintances, means whomsoever you know, or the people who have already purchased. Then commercial. So you see in advertisements now, usually you go through the this one mobile, see the product that way. A salesperson, you will be going to and speaking to the sales websites, dealers, packaging, all those people whoever involved with those items, you will be consulting them or you are going through the websites. Public, so mass media, consumer rating agencies. So there are consumer rating agencies are there, they will rate the product. So usually in the websites and all, also in the social media also, you see for a particular product the comments are there of the people. So they are very important. On that basis also people will judge whether to buy or not. Then experimental handling, examining, using the product. So sometimes what happen, you go and experiment the product. That's why sometimes people have a provision for using a particular item, and if it is working, you keep it or you return it. That also is there. Examining, going and examining the product. So all those facilities are there. From there you acquire the information. Third step is evaluation of alternatives. Now you have taken but this one information, but at the same time for a particular same item you have a two three companies or little variants are there of the same product. So now when you have decided to buy a fan, or take example ceiling fan, you have decided, but which company to buy? Orient fan, Crompton fan, Usha fan, you don't know. So you are going inside. And in each company also, what happens is there are variants are there. Low quality, high quality, low priced, high priced and all. So all those things you have to make a evaluation. One evaluation between the companies and one evaluation between the variants of the product. The collected information is used to evaluate the alternative products or services. Consumer assigns relative weights to different products and judges the relative worth of alternatives. The evaluation behavior varies with situation, type of product, and intensity of need. So it varies with the situation, type of product, and intensity of need. Some products don't require a kind of evaluation because everywhere is same. The consumer usually considers brand strength, brand image, manufacturer's reputation for quality, middleman's reputation, product attributes, after sales services, availability of spare parts, and most importantly, utility value while evaluating different brands. Yes, these are the points where he will consider while evaluating. Now, I will be purchasing this product, but is there a service available later? This is how usually people will think of, where is the service station, because if the product is spoiled, where can I take it? So that way. So another is a reputation or company. So is it a China company or a other place company, European company, where? So what is from how long that company is existing? All those kinds of the evaluation you will be making. So before making a purchase, all these things will go on in your mind. Price is also used as a criteria for evaluating brands, but not an exact price figure, rather, a price range is used. Usually, price also they consider what is the price. See, you go to buy vegetables and all in the market, so you see similar vegetables there, but at the same time, you ask two, three places because where 10 rupees is less, there you will buy and go. Marketers can assist consumer in evaluation process by communicating product attributes and by clearly stating their brand's point of differentiation. So sometimes what happens is a particular brand gives a differentiation with the other products already. So if you buy these things are possible in other products you won't have like that differentiation. They themselves will compare and give you, so that it's very easy for the evaluation. And today for some big items and all, luxurious items and all, usually the social media itself gives a comparative analysis. So now you think of buying a car, so what is difference, what is the difference between other companies, other cars, that all evaluation is given. So it's very easy to make it today. So next is a purchase intention. So now you have reached to the state of purchase. So you have not purchased exactly, but you have reached to the moment of purchase now. So once the consumer has evaluated all the products that are available to satisfy his need, he will choose the most appropriate product and proceed with the actual purchase itself. Now he has decided, yes, no more, nothing doing, I will be purchasing. So, however, there are two factors which can interfere between the purchase intention and purchase decision: attitude of others and unanticipated situational factors. See, even when you have made a decision to purchase, even after that, before purchasing, there something may happen. That is attitude of others. So what happened is you are going to buy, you are purchase decision is made, but while purchasing itself somebody says no, this is not a good product, start speaking negative, then suddenly your decision changes. So then there are unanticipated situational factor. I will be telling you in the next slide these things. Attitudes of others is the amount to which another person's negative attitude towards the preferred alternatives results in a readjustment of the consumer's purchase decision. Now you see, after taking a information and after looking at this one websites and all making all comparisons, and you have decided to purchase a particular brand of a car. Now what happened is, suddenly you go outside and somebody has driving a same car, and you just stop him and ask him how it is. Then he says it's useless. Then suddenly, oh, he says he will make a change in his attitude. So because of the attitude of others also, actually that car might have been good, but his attitude is not good. Because of that, that has a influence. Then the extent to which the attitude of others affects the consumer's decision to purchase depends upon the intensity of other person's negative attitude towards the chosen alternative and the motivation of the consumer to comply with the wishes of other people. Sometimes, okay, he may say, "Oh, this is not good," but you might say, okay, let him, for him is not good, I'll buy and see. Such categories also are there. So you can't say that only the attitude of others directly will have an impact. It all depends on you also, how you are motivated, or depend motivated on the others attitudes. So still we'll continue. There is a what you call chart for the purchase. So after the evaluation of alternatives, purchase intention is made. So purchase intention to purchase decision, you have these many activities to go on. In the purchase itself, you have three stages here. So purchase intention, then attitudes of others and unanticipated situational factors, and that will make a purchase decision. So from purchase intention directly decision, purchase decision doesn't come. So there are some things again it will go, that is attitudes of others, which we already saw. Then unanticipated situational factors. So here itself I'll tell you what is unanticipated situational factors. See, actually you have made a what you call intention to buy, and you have gone there, and you are almost at the verge of buying. Now what happened is, suddenly you have to suddenly some things come on the way. Take example, from many years we were thinking to buy one house, and now we have decided next month you will be buying a house. But suddenly what happened is, you have lost the job. So your intention is but it is not turned into the decision at all. You had an intention to purchase, but it has went something wrong because of unanticipated. You never thought that you will be losing a job, but it happened. So that way many things may happen. So what you call there are sometimes what happens, you purchase, you thought that this everything is made, and you went for purchasing a product. Suddenly you saw some other product, and your dire need was to purchase that first, so you leave out. I remember that I had even in my life I had a once I had decided to buy a two wheeler of other model, but suddenly in a newspaper advertisement came just before the purchase of my previous day. If it was not, I was not seen that advertisement, I would have purchased already. But what happened is, suddenly on the previous day of my purchasing of the next day, I saw a one advertisement of a two wheeler which was good than which I had thought to purchase. So immediately I changed the decision. So any factor may come on the way that will change the purchase decision. So the more the negative attitude of other person, and the closer that other person is to the consumer, more will be the will of the consumer to readjust his purchase intention. So it is as we have already spoken regarding the attitude. The second is unanticipated situational factors, refer to unexpected changes that might occur and alter the purchase intention. So these are all unexpected changes that might occur and after the and alter the purchase intention. So here one example is there might be some unexpected purchase that is more urgent than the purchase the consumer was first stimulated. Actually he was thinking of buying something, or take a proper example. He was planning to buy a AC for example, but suddenly what happened is, his this one what you call house itself was collapsed. So his need now to build a house than purchasing a AC. So all those things happen. Suddenly something may happen which you are not expected at all. So moreover, perceived risk also alters a consumer's decision to modify or postpone or avoid a purchase. A number of risks might be perceived by consumers, such as financial risk, that is satisfaction derived from the product is not worth the price paid for it. So sometimes what happens is there are a financial risk. The satisfaction derived from the product is not worth the price paid for it. The price is very high. Yes, you are purchased, you are decided everything. You are not aware of the price. Now you have gone and checked the price very high. Okay, leave. Financial risk. Second one is physical risk. The product can harm the physical well-being or health of the consumer. Yes, you are decided, but when you have gone and spoken there, yes, this is the effects and all everything is explained to you. Oh, there is a danger to your physical health if you purchase that particular product. Then automatically you drop that idea. Then functional risk. The product is not able to perform as per the expectation of the consumer. You are thought that this will be working like this and all. When you have gone and seen or experimented, this you came to know that this is not functioning as you had thought. Then you will drop your idea. Then social risk. The usage of the product causes embarrassment to the consumer. So sometimes that what happens, you are decided to buy a particular style of the dress, but when you put it on and see, oh, you look very ugly, then you drop it. So it's a social risk. You will get embarrassed if you wear that particular model of dress and go out. Actually, by looking at the advertisements, you were attracted, you had decided to buy and everything. Now you just used and saw that, then it's not good, not fitting. Psychological risk. The product has an effect on the mental well-being of the consumer. Okay, sometimes what I call some of the items have a impact on the mental activities. Then also people have a danger. Then time risk. The opportunity cost of the finding another product if the chosen product fails the expectation of the consumer. This is also another serious problem in the purchase decision. So I hope now you understand the four stages already I have explained. The need, then you have after the need you have this one information search, then you have evaluation of alternatives, now purchase intention and decision, and after that we will be moving to the final stage, that is post purchase evaluation. So you have already purchased and after that you are making evaluation. Once the consumer has purchased the product, he tries to rationalize the purchase decision. So he has purchased the product and now he will look at his decision. The consumer will make a comparison between the actual performances of the product with what he expected in terms of performance from the product. Before buying a product, he will have some expectation, this will function like this and all, I will be having a this much of image and my, but he will think of, yes, before than that I had these dreams. Now after purchasing, whether these dreams are fulfilled or not, this is a evaluation going through in his mind. If the actual performance falls short of expectation, the consumer will be disappointed. Whereas if it meets the expectations of the consumer, he is thrilled. So sometimes what happens is the what you had expected sufficiently it is fulfilled. Then fine. So you were not getting a proper sleep with the ceiling fan. Then you purchased a cooler. So with the cooler, you thought that nice cool weather will be created in the room and you will get a good sleep. But actually, what happened? It never happened. Cooler also same equal to the ceiling fan. Then you feel disappointed. But yeah, okay, ceiling fan is not working. Now you thought that if I buy a AC, I can get a good sleep, and you purchased a AC, and it you made you very cool, and you are getting a good sleep. Then automatically it says that, oh, you have a satisfaction. The consumer whose expectations have been met by the product is likely to buy the product again and talk favorably to others about it. So the dissatisfied customer, on the other hand, may abandon the product or return it. If there is a possibility, if he is disappointed, then either he may sell it as a second-hand product or he will return it. In certain extreme cases, the consumer might take public action by complaining to the company, going to court, or complaining to consumer forums or government agencies. All those things. Sometimes, if you are getting a, what you call substandard products and all, even there are a consumer forums where you can go and complain. It is very important for marketers to monitor the post purchase behavior of the consumers. So it's a need today, because what happens is whether from your this one product or the service people are happy or not. What's going on with the consumers are talk of your product. Companies should offer efficient customer service and after sale guarantee schemes to consumers to help them if there is any trouble with the product. So that also has to be arranged. This is what the process of process of the buying. So buying looks to be very simple, but a long process goes on, and most of the process goes on mentally and with the consultation with the others and some with the experience. So experience sharing and your own experience. So all those things takes place in the buying. I hope you understood very well. But just to brief you once again, the steps I'll keep before you here: recognition of need, search for information, evaluation of alternative, purchase decision, and post purchase evaluation. These are the main steps that are occurring in purchase buying process. I hope you understood what is buying process. So here I will close it. Let's